That's crazy. Anyway, dear YouTubers, I don't really care how many people are out there viewing, non-viewing, but this is towards the Native American Indians. You people are actually owed quite a bit of money from the U.S. government. If the Federal Reserve would write y'all checks of $1.5 million a piece, you would probably be okay. At the same time, blacks are owed money. Whites are even owed money too, and it's not a racial thing. It's a hate game with the governments. People don't really realize this, but the governments are actually using the media to make everybody hate one another. We're all living in poverty here in America. You might not really think that, but we really are. The money isn't really here in America anymore. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the J.P. Morgan and Associates, the Vanderbilts, Rittenhouse, Westinghouse families are just a few, and the multi-billionaires like Warren Buffett. Then you have Bloomberg, you have Mitt Romney, you have Bill Gates. They all have billions of dollars. They're not really putting any money back into this country. They're actually storing the money over in the Swiss bank accounts. So if anything ever happens to this country, they can actually pull out. At the same time, we have problems at the border. The media don't want to talk about it. The problem is El Chapo sold drugs to people in Congress, high officials in Congress, and not even including them. You got the FBI involved, you have the CIA, you have ATF, you have ICE people, you even have people at the border all involved. You have quite a bit of people, and it's ridiculous. The other problem that we have is the Federal Reserve Bank. They're a private entity. They're not even Federal Reserve. They act like that they can do whatever the fuck they want. Really, they can't. The problem is that they have is they can take everybody's money away. But if everybody stopped paying, and I mean stop paying on your bills and shut the fucking country down, the Federal Reserve will shut down. And like I said, they're owned by the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilt families, all these rich multi-billionaire people. The Federal Reserve was actually set up in 1913. Throughout the time, it was only a 6% interest rate, but that's a lie. Right now, they're almost at $1 billion an hour. Let me repeat that. $1 billion an hour they're charging the American people. That's right. $1 billion, not a dollar. I'm saying $1 billion. So you times that by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not like Monday through Friday bullshit. It's 7 days a week. I have a friend that works for a banking system that actually checks these facts. The New York Stock Exchange is actually run by the Federal Reserve. The credit union is really run by the Federal Reserve. So if you guys want to buy something and you have no credit, you can blame the Federal Reserve. They're the ones who control it. They also control all the banks. Don't let them fool you. Every bank is owned and operated by the Federal Reserve. They say they're not, but they are. You have to really look into it. Now, onto your Social Security card. On the back of them, there's a number. Well, you're being thrown up in the air every day with the New York Stock Exchange with your Social Security number. It also tells you what color or nationality you are: black, white, Spanish, Oriental. And if they say it doesn't, they're full of shit. It does. Secondly, the birth certificate has a number as well. Well, they exchange that every damn day because they consider you a mineral. That's right, mineral, like water, steel, iron, copper, lead, salt. And your bodies are made up of pretty much a lot of minerals. Now, when they sell you these birth certificates and Social Security numbers, they're not in the millions of dollars, they're in the billions of dollars. So some people are worth 15, 20 billion dollars. The banks don't want you to know it. The Federal Reserve sure as fuck doesn't want you to know it, and our U.S. government ain't going to tell you either. They're all a bunch of liars. The only one that's actually trying to get everything switched over is Donald Trump. Unfortunately, he's having a hell of a time. They don't want anybody knowing this, but Kennedy found out and he was murdered over the situation. So y'all have to use that as your own discretion. But really, your signature on a promissory note should be able to give you a loan or a business loan that you want, but they won't do this. They kind of like do an obstruction of law, justice, whatever. But when y'all do child birth certificates, your child is already signed over to the government in slavery. That's right, slavery. Everybody, white, black, Spanish, Oriental, whatever nationality you are. So, can't say that it's the regular white people, black people, Orientals, Spanish people that are putting people in slavery. It's actually the banks. Every country that has a central bank system, I mean central, those countries have birth certificates and some type of social security number to pay taxes. And if you look it up, they're worth billions of dollars. Yet, when you try to make a business loan, they won't give you one. So, like I said, if everybody just stopped paying all their fucking bills and stopped buying shit and demand their retribution or payments, they would get it. Now, onto the United States government. In 1913, you guys signed I think it's called a random or a random dender or whatever the hell it's called. Anyway, you guys signed a thing with the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and so on to build the Federal Reserve. Now, at this same time, you didn't have the people actually vote for this, which in Congress you're supposed to. That didn't happen. So actually it's an act of war. It's an act of aggression or treason to the United States people. As of today, we have almost $115 trillion owed to the American people. Let me repeat that. $115 trillion as of today, with interest. So when you go on YouTube and you look at the Bank of England where the Queen and her husband go into the Bank of England, you'll see bars of gold sitting on blue metal shelves. That's our gold. That's not their gold. It's our gold. England was broke. They had no money. So that's our number one problem in America. We keep giving to other countries instead of paying for our own country. We need to start paying for the people here, start helping the people start jobs, businesses, whatever. The big corporations, they don't give a shit. They're doing laboratory experiments on the kids with autism and stuff with the shots. They lie. They can make up whatever the fuck they want, but it's all a lie. It's all through the shots and medicine that causes autism. It's a known fact. Children that don't get shots don't have autism. So they can tell you whatever bullshit they want. Autism is actually caused, if you actually look at the shots for autism, it is caused through, how can I word this? They put lead, liquid lead actually. It's not a solid lead, but a liquid lead. And then they use part of antifreeze. Now this is retarded. Antifreeze and a little bit of mercury into these shots, and that they give it to children. And once you give it to somebody, it gives them autism. And when you confront the doctor and tell them that you want a full dose given to him or her, they won't take the dose because they know it's going to cause them the same fucking problem it causes the children. It's a known fact. So they can lie, they can do whatever they fucking want to tell you through the FDA. The FDA is crooked. They're paid by the Rothschilds. Actually, they're owned by the Rothschilds. If you look it up, they're the main owners with the rest of the stuff. So if everybody starts looking into the corporation laws here in the United States, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, J.P. Morgan, and all these rich multi-billionaires are all in cahoots with each other. You want to really talk about it, it's really fucking crazy. I don't have anything else to say. I don't really give a shit about the U.S. government because they don't give a shit about us. I've wrote the president several times, and it's all a computerized, generated thing that they tell you that they're going to help you out. They're reviewing your letter and helping whoever. And I know he doesn't get to read the letters because these people are, they're like, oh my God, he's too far into it, or he's whacked out, or, he's read his political stuff and he knows what's going on. And the other thing is, too, if y'all really read the Constitution, we have lawyers and judges running this country that we're voting for. They're not even supposed to be in office. It's supposed to be people like me, you, whoever's a farmer, a damn guy that grows cattle, somebody that works in a fucking grocery store or a damn KFC chicken place. I mean, it's stupid. And they make it to where you can't run for it because they jack the prices up on trying to run for being president or somebody in Congress. They want you to pay $150,000 or, and it's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be free. You're supposed to run free of charge. The other thing is they keep passing laws that it's actually against the people. If you read the Constitution, people are supposed to vote on every law passed in the United States, every state too. They're not doing this, so they're making up shit as they go along. They'll tell you, oh, it's legal, when it's not legal. It's actually illegal. When you vote, it's supposed to be for whatever law, whatever bill is being passed. That's why if you look up in the old days, during the 1800s, they actually had to ride back to their states and go around their whole state or districts and get people to vote. It might take 6 months, it might take 8 months, but sometimes it even took a year to pass, maybe 2 years, depending on who they could go in their district or try to hunt down for their vote. Some people were undecided and told them to wait. Today they put a time limit on the voting. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be everybody gets to vote. Don't matter if you've committed a crime or didn't commit a crime. Once you've served your time, you're no longer a felon. You're no longer anything. You have the right to own a gun. That's why they're trying to do away with the Constitution. They want to do away with freedom of speech. Actually, they really want to do away with the first 14 amendments. Now, you might say that I'm stupid and retarded, but if you look it up, if they do away with it, we're basically in communism. And right now, our country is basically being run by communists. Unfortunately, they disagree. I disagree with them because when you have to keep changing the names of security like ICE, TFC, ATF, MI5, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, get the picture. So, if everybody started looking around and finding out what's really going on, now I'm not saying murder or kill anybody, that's not the thing. I'm saying y'all have to help pass laws to keep Congress from voting laws. They're not supposed to be in Congress at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning passing a law that says we're going to give $11.5 billion to Mexico, Central America like they did last year. And that's bullshit. I didn't vote on it. I know nobody in America voted on the $11.5 billion to be sent south. Our other problem is we keep giving money to different countries. In the United Nations, we've been given hundreds and billions of dollars, and we've never been paid back. So our deficit really shouldn't even be at $22 or $23 trillion. We should be in the negative. But like I said, we have corrupt politicians. Every day they're doing shady deals with like El Chapo and other people in other countries like George Soros. He's not even an American. Everybody says he is. I disagree. I mean, if you're a 14-year-old kid back in World War II handing in your own people at 1,500 people that are Jewish and you claim to be a Nazi, you're a fucking Nazi. You're not a Jew. Same thing with the Rothschilds. They begged, they pleaded with Adolf Hitler so that their one brother wouldn't even get killed during World War II. Hitler actually should have killed the motherfucker, and they should have killed all the Rothschilds. They're all corrupt. they're all pieces of shit, the way I look at it. Matter of fact, my family in history is owed $11.5 billion. And if you go in history with the Hatfield McCoys, they're actually owed, each family member, family side, not member, but family side actually is owed $148 billion. Let me repeat that. $148 billion for the Hatfield McCoys. A piece, each side. That's almost $300 billion that's owed to two different families over war. That's because they stole property from these people and minerals like coal, oil, God knows whatever else. And people don't really realize this, but if you look it up in the Library of Congress, there's other families besides me. You got the Beard family. I guess they're owed close to $100 billion. They invented something with metal material or something. So, I mean, if you start looking around, these families are owed a lot of money. And these people aren't going to pay them, but actually the Rothschilds are worth over almost $600 billion. They've actually swindled the European Union out of all their money. That's why they voted to leave the European Union. Let me repeat that again. The British people voted to leave the European Union, which they did not know that the Rothschilds had actually stole all the money from Europe. Let me repeat that again. The Rothschilds have stolen all the money from the European countries. That's why they're all in bankrupt. So, you people need to get your asses together and go after them. And that's all I got to say. God bless. Y'all have a merry time.